outside the off stump. Oh, he's caught it! I don't believe it! Tom Kohler-Cadmore has caught the most magnificent catch. At short third man, it's the end of Daniel Sams, and Somerset have won the Vitality Blast 2023. They've bowled Essex out for 131.
Hello there, Happy New Year. Despite it being the 12th of February, this is the first episode of Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, the Somerset Cricket Podcast of 2024. My name's Ian Shepherd. Joining me this evening, I've got Steve Tancock, the voice of cricket on BBC Radio Somerset, Anthony Gibson, and making his third appearance on Always Look on the Bright Side of Life is Richard Brice. I say third appearance. This is our third go at trying to record this because for some reason I was getting some background noise and feedback on the recording. So, Richard, shall we pretend to talk about something that we haven't talked about before for the last 10 minutes? I mean, you've worn many hats at Taunton over the years. Obviously, you'll be most familiar to the casual supporter at Somerset as the chief executive / slightly grumpy-faced store detective on T20 match days, manning the door to the shop. But, member director, were you directly involved in the appointment of Lewis Gregory as captain, which is obviously passed us by since we last recorded? It's been in the public domain for a long time now, especially since BBC Bristol Sport tweeted it out 5 minutes early, much to the frustration of the media team.
Sorry, very much there.
That's all right, I was waffling. Go on.
So it is sort of very much linked with the director of cricket and head coach who come forward with recommendations. And I think as a board, we were universally happy with the fact of Lewis being appointed. Big act to follow with Tom, who's been, to become captain at 22 and stepped down at 29, done 7 years, and done an absolutely fantastic job as not only as captain of the cricket side out in the community, as one of the nicest young men you'll ever wish to meet. And the big thing I'll say with Tom, if you ask him to do something and he does it, he always comes back to you and says, "What else can I do?" And you think, Lewis is great cricket brain, will be another top choice, I think. With his vice captain in place as well. Obviously, during the latter part of the season, he won't be around because he'll be playing in the other competition. Mm-hmm. But great choice, level-headed. New family behind him as well, little baby. But no, good choice that we were all very much supportive of.
When Ben Stokes was appointed England captain, Rob Key said that he wasn't the only choice, but he was the only choice. It very much feels like that with Lewis's appointment. Steve, you were one of Tom Abell's biggest fans, if not the biggest fan. We never got to hear your reaction to his resignation, and I guess what were your thoughts on Lewis's appointment?
Well, obviously you gutted that Tom's felt he needed to step down, but my immediate thought was, he will be spared those heart-rending having to talk to Gibbo when he clearly was distraught after another bad performance.
Steve, anyone's distraught when they got to talk to Gibbo, so it's not just Abe's. Don't worry about that.
Harsh. And my other thought was, if he's going to concentrate on his batting, he will be a great lieutenant for the skipper, and he will, I hope, be able to focus. I think that's probably it, because he probably feels he wants to have a time in his career. He's coming into the prime now as a championship batsman. I equally love Lewis. I wrote something that they used on the website a couple of years ago about Lewis and how both Dad and I, from an early stage of his career, thought he was just an outstanding young man, an outstanding cricketer. My only concern is his fitness, and that worries me slightly. And I hope that this is a sign, because I'm going to always look on the bright side, and I'm hoping it's a sign that he has assured the Brains Trust that he is going to be able to be fit enough to play the majority of the championship games.
Well, Jason Kerr did say at the Members' Day that one of the reasons for formally appointing Craig Overton as vice-captain is this acceptance that Lewis is not going to be fit or available for every championship game. So it's now set in stone that Craigo is vice-captain, and if Lewis is unavailable, there's no speculation or whatever. Will it be Tom Abel coming back? Will they do it to short? It will just be right. It's got to be Craig. So we're still going to have the conversation when Lewis and Craig aren't available, which I hope will not be the case. But
the good news about that is that either one or the other ought to be playing in every championship match. You know, all other things being equal, and that's a big point because they're both match-winning bowlers, and we need them in the side.
Yeah,
absolutely. Gibbo, I mean,
I'm a great admirer of Lewis Gregory. Always have been. I think he's a brilliant captain. Very different style to Tom Abel. He's got a very cool head on his shoulders. He's more analytical. He doesn't dash around. He's not quite so hyperactive as Tom, but he's clearly the man in charge. He captained England under-19s years ago. He captains the Trent Rockets very successfully, and of course he captained brilliantly in the T20 Blast, especially in the semi-final and final, when a cool head above all was needed. So I think he's a great choice. The only question mark obviously was his fitness, and if the club are happy that Craig Overton can deputise when Lewis is rotated out of the championship side, then I think it's a very good decision. I was slightly surprised, I must say. I thought they might go Sean Dixon, possibly, who captains pretty well in the 50-over competition. But all other things being equal, Lewis is, he's the man. He's a key player, and he'll be a brilliant captain.
Yeah, totally support that.
Yeah, different style of captaincy as well. And I just wonder, when Tom took over back in, or what was it? Yeah, 2017. We had it, or 2016, 2017, whatever it was. The side seemed a lot more mature. Trez was still around. It was a Hildy there, Trigo. You had a much more mature side, which I don't want to say it took care of itself, but almost didn't need as much captaincy. And I think with Lewis coming along, I think a bit more laissez-faire. I don't know. I
think you can look at it in both ways. If you look at Tom's early days, with, as you say, you had three big individuals still in the side, of which he had lots of people to talk to. And Hildy, another one who was a great cricket brain. Tom had somebody there to bounce off, and Trez and Triggs. Lewis has been there through that period as well. So I think some of the stuff that he'll have picked up from those individuals will be outstanding for the future.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's... What am I trying to say without... What am I trying to say? I've got to try to say that it's almost that this side needs a bit more of... I'll tell you what, I'll have a think about my words and I'll come back to it. This is what I should have been doing all day, by the way, trying to work out what I'm trying to say.
I think to cut your word, it'll be a different style of leadership. Yeah. Lewis is a very level-headed young man, as is Tom. But if you see Tom in the field, you ever look when somebody's out, a catch is taken, from wherever he's fielding, who's always the first person there? It is Tom, or has been Tom. And, Lewis will be, I think, very, very good, but a slightly different style, which will be...
Lewis has got a sort of natural air of command about him.
Yeah, you're right.
He's a very, he's a it's a cliche, but he's a born leader, and as a captain, I think he'll bring the best out of his side, whether they're the more experienced players or the younger ones.
And of course, it has already had the desired effect on Tom Abel's batting, scoring runs for fun in the SA20, man of the match in the final. Do you know who the man of the match was in last year's final?
Another Somerset boy.
Roll-off fans emerge.
Absolutely. Back-to-back player of the matches for Somerset boys in the SA20. So, yeah, brilliant to see Abel scoring runs for fun in the SA20. And it just underlined his credentials that he is a bloody good T20 bat. He's not muscle and thunder over the ropes. He is just the precision and the ability to score off every ball. He's just a joy to watch.
I was just disappointed that Mark Nicholas and Kevin Peterson weren't on commentary when he got the Man of the Match award.
Yeah.
This time last year, if you remember, Mark Nicholas didn't even know who Tom Abel was.
Didn't even know his name. It was Tom Abel.
Tom Abel.
Well,
and Kevin Peterson had nothing good to say about either the Sunrisers Eastern Cape or Tom Abel. I can't stand. I would turn the sound off shortly after he comes on commentary. But I heard enough to gather that he has no respect for Tom Abel whatsoever.
No. I do not understand why people...
Never heard of him.
He was flown first class out to India to commentate on the test, and then he was flown back to South Africa to commentate on that bloody final. It's Kevin Peterson. He's the shittest commentator in the world. No. Nobody says, love Kevin Peterson, such insightful analysis of the modern game. No, it's like, oh, fucking hell, get this twat off the radio again, or this.
Don't start me on that one. But the interesting one was if you heard A.B. de Villiers' comments about Tom Abel.
Yes, I did.
You wouldn't really have known Tom that well, saying what a fantastic player he was.
Absolutely,
that's some compliment.
Yeah.
Well, they're very similar players, aren't they? Because AB was wristy, sort of hockey player. I don't know if Tom has a hockey background, but he certainly looks the way he does. So they're very, very similar players. In that respect,
it's sad that AB de Villiers can make some fantastic comments about Tom, but some of our own who are involved in English cricket can't.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is a shame. Well, hopefully this will be the springboard to get in that well-deserved England cap, which he was cruelly denied last year with that side strain playing in the lives. Was it Sri Lanka who was playing, and it was a Bangladesh tour he couldn't go on. So Tom Abel back in the ranks, and he's already scoring runs for fun. 11 minutes, 16 seconds. We need to get on to probably the most momentous news. Somerset's youngest ever male England player, Shoaib Bashir, was given his cap by Jack Leach last week, or a couple of weeks ago, and then Leachy, who's maintaining his record as the unluckiest cricketer in the history of first-class cricket. Has probably done his knee and had to fly home. So all the best, Jack. And certainly, I think there's no danger of him not being ready for April and the start of the county summer. So I hope I hope we'll see Jack taking the field down at Canterbury first game of the season. But what price would you have given me this time last year, Shoaib Bashir, to have won his first England cap and bowled very, very tidily as well?
I don't think anybody saw it coming, to be quite honest. But I understand that when he went out to the either Abu Dhabi or with the warm-ups, and he just worked so hard from talking to the lads out there to show what he can do, and he clearly impressed the selectors who are there, and he's been given an opportunity. And what a way to take it! You can't write the script for that, can you? It was just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, bolt from the blue. I was very, very surprised he got the call. I've seen every ball that Shoaib Bashir has bowled in either T20 or 50 over or first class cricket.
No, you haven't, because you didn't go to the Devon and Cornwall games, Gibbo. I'm counting
those. That's not first class.
But you said the 50 over games as well. All right, yeah, go on, let you off. Go on.
But I'm not surprised about how well he's done, having been selected, because he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got a nice action. He puts it in the right place, ball after ball after ball. He lacks a bit of variety in flight. He varies his pace nicely, particularly in white ball cricket. And he's justified so far. He's justified the selectors' faith in him, and good luck to him. But how rotten for poor old Jack Leach. The luck that bloke has. I don't know what he's done to deserve it, but all of the misfortunes he's had during his cricket career, I'm sure he'll come back as strong as ever. But it must be a huge disappointment because, in India he was virtually, all due respect to Jimmy Anderson, leading the attack. Yeah. He was going to play in every Test match, on spinners' wickets. He's got 3 youngsters to lead and show the way to, and now goes over in the field, does his knee, and that's the end of that. I just hope he's going to be fit for the start of our season, and that we have him for the first 7 championship games before the Test matches start. because even in April and May, he's a very important component in the Somerset attack.
Yeah, if he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all, would he? It's, I mean, I don't want to spin a negative on this, but I have a little bit of a sense of Groundhog Day with Shoaib Bashir playing the role of Don Bess, in that we are going to have two international spinners, and it's very, very hard to keep both of them happy unless we are reverting back to Hyderabad.
Yeah, which we're not going to, I don't think. Good point. He's not going to. Shoaib isn't going to get in the side if Jack Leach is fit and available. Not in April and May. You're not going to play two spinners in April and May.
No. Be tough to leave one of them out, though, wouldn't it? Two quality cricketers. But it's happened to us in the past, as you rightly say. You know, it's you pick the side to hopefully win the games, and we often do struggle early season. So we've got to make sure we do pick the right side to pick up those points at Canterbury and I think Warwick, isn't it? The first game away.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose nobody kind of saw Shoaib's the speed of his rise to this kind of international prominence, because when we signed him back this time last year it would have been, wouldn't it? This real rookie young spinner yet to make his first class debut. You think that he is an ideal profile as a guy to play backup to Jack Leach. He will play in the Championship when Jack's away with England. He'll play in the second 11, and that's kind of his level now. If we'd have signed Liam Dawson to be number 2 to Jack Leach, you'd have gone, hold on a minute, that's absolute nonsense. What are you doing that for? But he's now international bowler, and we're back to Leach and Bess again, which without Hyderabad is going to be very, very tricky to kind of keep him happy. I don't know. I mean, maybe this is he kind of knows this is a blip. He knows he's not England's first choice yet. I don't know.
What's Liam Dawson done to upset the selectors? Liam Dawson is the best spinner in county cricket.
I think
he wasn't in the original side. Now Jack's come home. Why haven't they called him out there? He must have done something.
It does always seem that way in cricket, doesn't it? That some people don't seem to. They're quality individuals. You think, why don't they get picked? And nobody seems to ever answer that question, do they? You can, if you go back over the years and years, you look at quality cricketers. Think, why haven't they played for England? Why haven't they been given that opportunity?
James Hilders, for example.
Well,
that's the name that was in my head.
Hildy's a classic, and it's very interesting. I know not to digress a little bit, but with Hildy, he'll always tell you that if you look at when he was in the form of his life, so were most other England batsmen. Whenever he seemed to have a dip in his own form was when there was an opportunity to play for England. He didn't get picked because he was in a dip. But then again, sometimes, even if somebody's in a dip, should you give them the opportunity? I personally think you should.
Yeah. When he was in his peak, it was a very difficult England middle order to break into. It was like, was it Trott, Bell, Peterson, Collingwood?
Would Marks have ever played for England if he hadn't got that 160 odd against Glamorgan? No. Big question that. In front of the future England coach, got picked and went from strength to strength.
Oh, you said Marcus. I thought you said Marks. I was thinking, when did Vic Marks ever get 106?
No, that was his career.
That Trez's knock against Glamorgan when Fletcher was there, yeah.
Yeah. That just right place, right time. And look how that developed his career.
Mind you, Duncan Fletcher had a lot to do with Trescothick's subsequent success, though, as well.
Oh, of course he did.
He was a much, much better player after he came under Duncan Fletcher's influence.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying, Anthony. If you look at that scenario, you've got those runs with him watching, and Duncan saw something very, very special.
He did, exactly. Yeah. And then made the most of it.
My take on Shoaib is, though, that there's got to be a dividend for us coming back, because if he's going to play probably another 3 tests, isn't he? It's likely now with Leach out that he's going to play those games. Even if he doesn't have great games, coming back then to play in the Championship has got to do his confidence a heck of a lot of good, because, and that to me is you maybe have to look at the option of playing both of them. And not necessarily, I know you're going to go, you're mad not to play a spinning wicket and then pick the two of them. But you said earlier, Shep, and I've seen it so many times, Jack Leach bowling early in the season and bowling so well. There's an argument, isn't there, for if you have got two international bowlers, you pick them. But then you can say second season syndrome might kick him. And how many Championship games did he play last year? Four. 5? 4, yeah.
4, I think. Yeah.
So good luck to the fella. I'm absolutely delighted for him. How many times have we said, Hildy and various other people, Trigo should have played one-day internationals for England, yada, yada, yada. And now we've got another young lad who's, in the reckoning. And wow, wouldn't I love to be his age, already playing for England?
We all love to be his age, full stop, Steve. But anyway, carry Yeah, and I'm glad his visa nonsense got sorted out as well. That was it got quite charged on social media with people, probably myself included, beefing it up to levels of the Basil D'Oliveira days. But it was all sorted in the end, but just doesn't quite sit right, because he probably would have played in that first match.
Yeah.
If he was there, it just all seems rather. It was a rather sour taste in the mouth, but I'm just what I was sat in the back of my mind that is he being a Pakistani heritage, and then all this being built up that he would start become public enemy number one of that England side, and kind of a focal point, which hasn't happened, a focal point for Indian fans' abuse, and it hasn't happened. So I'm absolutely over the moon for that. He does seem to be doing rather well. So best of luck, Bash, for the was it Thursday? It kicks off now, doesn't it? Yep, the third test. The Members' Day was about a month ago now. It shows how long it's been before since we've done one of these. Gibbo, as I'm sure you spoke to Spencer about, the Walkers and Talkers event that you were present at the other day. Apparently, it's Groundhog Day again. You're having a new commentary box. Apparently, it's all being sorted.
Absolutely, it was. I very much enjoyed the Walkers and Talkers. We had a very good crowd, best part of 100 people there, and we've got a new commentary box. What used to be the Scorers box. So next to our original commentary box, and the Scorers, I understand it, are going in the control room, the operations room, on top of the top right hand side of the Botham stand as you look at it.
Just above where that old mini scoreboard used to be.
That's it. Yeah. So so looking forward to it.
So I'm not going to be able to say hello to Polly when I nip up for a free coffee in the press box.
No, I mean that's the downside of it. But she was far enough away from me down in the porter cabin anyway. So.
Jules used to, Jules just put a post-it note up against the window saying floodlights 7 p.m. or some such. So, well, I'm sure she'll be on the walkie-talkie. So, well, that's good news. Happy with that. The Walkers and Talkers is a great event. If you don't know what it is it every second Thursday? Is it something like that? I can't remember.
Tuesday. Every second Tuesday.
Every second Tuesday. Have a guest speaker and a chat and a coffee and a catch-up down at the ground. So, have a look at the Somerset social media. For that one. One thing from the Members' Day, Jason Kerr teased a second overseas signing. Now, that was the best part of a month ago now. I think it was the 15th of January. We've not had anything announced yet, so I just wonder.
And there's nothing to announce yet.
Oh. Are you able to give us any...
No, I can't give you any real insight. I think the biggest problem you've got is that if you think there's the 2020 World Cup in the Caribbean in June, and I would think an awful lot of players are thinking, I'm not going to commit myself to overseas, I'm not going to commit to something because I might be in with a sniff of that. I mean, whilst there would be a risk for it, I think that's my personal view, why we're struggling a little bit.
They're not going to risk pulling a fetlock, slogging against that in the county game in April and May when they got the World Cup, which is fair enough, but...
That's my personal opinion.
But they're all going to be doing it in the
World Cup
IPL for mega money, so it's. But that's only four.
Like
That's only 4 overs every 2 days.
Usman Khawaja would be my choice.
Usman Khawaja.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yes, good player.
Not David Warner. He'll be available.
We can't afford the helicopter.
We need someone to stiffen the top order in the county championship, particularly early season.
Just a
Well,
solid.
the
solid,
Dean
solid
Elder
batter.
name was circulating for quite a while, wasn't it?
Well, it was confirmed in the South African media. They were all over it. They were, he's got a captain Somerset
That's
in
where
the
it
championship.
started.
Yeah, that's where it
That's
started.
where it
in the
started.
commentary.
Sean Pollock on commentary, saying that Dean Elgar was going to Somerset, when I don't think he ever was. I think Sean Pollock just got Essex mixed up with Somerset. That's all it was.
How on earth could you do that?
Properly
That's
sued, apparently.
ridiculous. Well, I'd bloody sue as well. Oh, they showed him on the TV, didn't they? With
Oh yeah.
bloody pink.
Never mind.
Bloody top league. Our unofficial nemesis. Did we agree to have him back on this year for the
Yes, we did.
Oh.
Yes, we did.
All right
Yeah.
then.
Just for the minutes, I wasn't part of that decision.
I don't think there was a decision. I think he just sheer force him. Can I come on, check? And I just wither and say, "Go on then, Don." And then, what hour long did we do when he was on? An hour and 50. I just split it into 2 parts. Oh, sorry, listener. Oh dear. What's next on the agenda? Andy Mead is in the Scotland squad for their matches in match in the Emirates. Josh Davey is not.
No.
I don't know whether is he retired from international cricket, or is he just saying no thanks for this one, or just not selected?
Getting on a bit.
I always think the amazing success of the Scottish side has been the lad who played for us a few years ago, Michael Leask.
Yeah, he's
Leask has just been amazing for Scotland.
not attached to anyone at the first class county at the moment, is he? He's just
No. He came and played at my club in Taunton when he was first played for Somerset. He got sort of, he did a lot for us, but you never saw anything to really see what he's turned and done for Scotland, which has been absolutely fantastic for him.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I think Gibbo's gone off to the toilet. Does that look like a Portuguese door to you? I'm not sure. Is Gibbo's in Langport or Portugal?
I don't think. I think that's Langport Towers.
Ah, right. James Rue and Casey Aldridge have been out in the with the Lions out in India playing those unofficial test matches. They both like, well, Casey Aldridge didn't play in either of the tests, and James Rue, by the lofty standards he set last year, has had a pretty quiet 3 games. Top score of 56, not out in those 3 games. The boys are in Sri Lanka at the moment. Club were it seemed quite keen to point out that only certain members of the first team squad have gone. I don't know whether that's because half of them are out playing like Tom Abel's in the SA20, obviously Jack Leach and Sherb Bashir would have been in the England squad. Are they going out to Abu Dhabi as well then, or is this?
Yeah. There's not that many gone out to Sri Lanka, to be honest. I think more have gone as quite a lot of support for the young lads who are out there. The academy boys are out there. So it's good to have some first team players around them, and then they go out for a full pre-season in March out to Abu Dhabi, where hopefully the whole squad will be pretty much back, and we'll all go out, because the boys will be back from Sri Lanka. The boys will be back from, I think George Thomas is playing out at Fremantle. I'm not sure where the others are, but there's a few out dotted around the world. We'll all be back for March for pre-season, then a bit of sunshine in Abu Dhabi, and on to the first games in April.
Good stuff, yeah. One thing we did talk about previously, Richard, on one of the recordings that Knackered Up, is your current role as a member director. So do you want to quickly let us know what that kind of entails, and if people need to get in touch with you to air their grievances, how they can do that?
Absolutely. And if people who have issues, they can go onto the website, and under the membership section, you can scroll down, and there's a member director's email address. So basically, so that lots of queries can come through there. And the point is, I think, for members to have a point of contact. I think they quite often feel that they go on match days the executive are extremely busy, as is everybody, but it's somebody to voice, an opinion to try and then feed it back up to the executive. But the role of the members director is just not members. It's you're a member of the 10 strong board, to hopefully lead the club forward as well. But our role is we're elected by the members, whereas the 4 other members, like the chairman, are appointed by the AGM, as we all are to a certain extent. But it's a role to be there for members.
Yeah, the AGM is on, May the 29th at 7:30 p.m. So pop that date in your diary, and then you can vote for it. Are you voted in? Are you secure for this term? Have you got to put yourself up for re-election?
No, not for. Cut a long story short, I think I said to you earlier when we were trying to record things, is that myself, Jeff Vane, and Chrissy Brewer were elected for the first year under Michael's regime, and then AGM last year, we all 3 were. I think there were about 9 or 10 who put in for the role, but us 3 were all re-elected, of which Chrissy and myself have a 3-year term, and Jeff has a 2-year term. So after this AGM, I have 2 more years to go. Jeff has 1, but can apply for re-election, and Chrissy has 2, same as me. So 2 more years.
2 more years before you can officially retire.
Well, perhaps it's about time to retire,
Oh, the ground would be the same without you, Richard.
Thank you.
You have got. I tell you, it is. I try to say, but if you're sat in the Somerset stand, you can just tell it's you walking. You've got a very distinctive, like when you're kind of hustling between the Truscoffic stand and the shop. That's definitely Richard. Even just a silhouette, you can tell it's you.
I always try, and it's something, and Anthony may well remember this, that Guy Lavender in particular, when he was there with Sally Donahue as his number 2, would always do 2 or 3 laps of the ground. And I try and do a similar type thing. I pop into some of the boxes just to talk to people, just as a member director, you're there. And I think that's important to be visible. So that's why I'm hustling between those, doing my 15,000 steps on a match day.
You're not just popping in for a drink in one and then a drink in another one and then a drink in another one.
No. To be honest, I never have a drink till after the close of play. Sometimes you think you might have one midday, but no.
Yeah.
Close of play, sit down and have a glass of wine.
Oh, excellent. And you've been doing a bit of a sponsored bike ride as well for charity. Do you want to let us know about that? Just get a few more donations in.
Yeah, I don't know how many people who are on here listening know Joe Mason, who's been a steward at the ground for many, many years. Joe was a retired headmaster, long room steward, top steward for many years. Is sitting on one of the committees which I sit on at the ground. And Joe is actually doing, I think, 1,400 lengths of his local swimming pool to equate to the English Channel. And I made a very sensible comment at one meeting. I tell you what, Joe, while you're doing that, I'll cycle from our Devon stall to our Mountbatten nursing home in Taunton and then down to the ground. And we've raised just short of £2,000 so far. Bit of fun. Joe's halfway through his swim. I've completed my static bike ride and then just got a couple of miles to do down to the ground one day next week to meet up with Joe. So it's been a bit of fun. Real good fun.
Well done.
Okay, and if you want the link to sponsor that one, I'll just see if I can find it on your Twitter. Is it on your Twitter, Richard, or...?
That's far too technical for me. Let me have a look on my phone.
I'm just having a look now, just see if I can find you.
It's a Just Giving page set up. So if anybody wants to donate, it would be lovely. All
right, we'll have a look at. I'll do my best to find it and put it out on our Twitter feed. So if you do,
I'll ping it over to your phone, Ian.
Oh, now we're getting technical, and I'm going to have to. Well, I'll make sure.
I think it's fair to say Richard's not after Ben Warren's job for the next year or two.
Without a doubt. And there's a very clever young man as well.
Yeah, Ben was on good form on the Members' Day, doing the tours of the media centres and showing around his Pride and Joys live stream suite, the Ben Warren suite. So,
just one thing to put you asked me earlier about some member directors and what we're trying to do. Just to float in the idea is one of the things that's always happened over the years, like members' lunches and things, have always been done at the county ground. We've never gone out around the region, so we're working on a programme to start getting some events out round to do something in Bath, do something in Yeovil, do something down in Devon. So members from those areas can come along to a coffee morning or something similar to the members' lunches in Taunton, but out around the region. So you don't have to come up from Plymouth. So just watch this space on that.
Sounds very good. And you have, of course, got a new boss as well, Richard, who'll be starting. I think end of April sometime is when Jamie's due to take over. Gordon was saying at the Members' Day.
Yes. Yeah, I've got to say, I was involved in the early interview process, and he was very impressive. Not only his cricket career, but also what he's business-wise since he's left, been involved in cricket and football in Australia, interviewed, and was a very, very strong candidate, and hence why he was offered the job. I think also having probably worked under Guy Lavin for the last 2 or 3 years at Lords, will do him good. Strong candidate, and looking forward to working alongside him.
He's already taken a keen interest as well in the club. Follows me on Twitter and he's just liked a tweet I did about cricket. Somerset Cricket
Even
Museum.
before his sort of appointment was announced, he suddenly started to follow an awful lot of people on Twitter.
Yeah, follows us as well, likes our tweets.
And of course, there was a great panic, wasn't there? Because he was appointed as a non-exec director of Cricket Scotland. And everyone was suddenly starting to panic. I was getting phone calls saying, well, I thought, no. But that was a non-exec role. I don't know the outcome of that now, but he will be, I believe, a quality candidate, a quality individual to do the job.
Ticks every single box.
Choice.
Ticks every single box you could want.
And, from a member's point of view, the man who led us in 2001. And if you talk of all the players from that era as well, they all speak very highly of him. There's nobody who says, "Oh, well, no, I don't think he'd be any good." But they all speak. You talk to Caddy, you talk to Keith Parsons. They all have total admiration for the guy, and that'll be good for the club.
And I think he gets us because of that, Richard, which I think is so important.
It is a big thing you just said. He gets Somerset. I still do believe we are a unique county. There is something very, very special about this county. And Jamie will get that from having played here for 4 or 5 years. And an incredibly strong work ethic as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited for the start of the season even more now. Oh, God.
I mean, Gibbo, you tweeted out...
Spine is tingling.
You tweeted out, it is the year of the dragon, after all.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my most badgerist bored moments in my lunch hour the other day, I looked up whatever they're called, the Articles of Association of the Mutually Beneficial Society of Somerset County Cricket Club Limited. And it does say it's a wyvern.
Yeah.
But it's not a wyvern, is it?
No, stop.
Come on, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Same old, same old. So that's got to be number one in Mr. Cox's intro. We'll sort out that little nonsense. But go back. It is the year of the dragon. If you follow us on Twitter, I've been messing about with AI, and I've devised this incredibly muscular, ferocious dragon that has murdered an eagle. Eagle, for some reason. Not sure who that's represented. But, yes, year of the dragon. Is it an omen? And that's leading me in to say, how do you think we are going to do?
A good omen.
Yeah.
To get on the right side of the Terry Pratchett series, a good omen.
So we've got a tough start in the championship.
Anthony, you say that every year, and I'm not dissing what you say, but you do, I think, pretty well the last 3 years when you're doing this podcast. You've always said that.
We have had a tough start the last 3 years. We haven't done very well.
But we always seem to lose our first 3 games. That's the trouble.
Yeah. But,
if we can win two out of the first 3 and get us off to a good start, that'll put us in good stead. But we do seem to have a slow start. We always have.
Kent away is a winnable game, and actually, I'm quite glad that we got Surrey early, because if we can beat them second game early on in the season, when traditionally we've been bloody awful. That'll send out a nice little message to the rest of Division 1.
I love your thinking.
It'll put us
Well, we were in
first or
a couple
second.
of years ago. We were in a winning position at the Oval.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
certainly were.
Abel got 150 in the first innings, and we were going well in the second innings when he got himself out. And then there was a mini
El
collapse.
Calapsio.
Yeah, I think if you're going to win a championship, you've got to win a championship. It's not about trying to look at the fixtures and plot a nice, easy way and think, oh, we'll get a draw. Look at 2 games and think, right, win at Canterbury, win at the Oval. Send a big message out, big statement out to the rest of Division 1, and then we'll just be top, and we'll stay top for the rest of the season. It's easy.
Leach 7 for 24. Bashir 11 for 62 in the match.
Yeah, why not? Why not? But
You heard it here first.
In all seriousness, I if we come away with a win and a draw in whatever combination from those 2 games,
I'll take that.
yeah, we'll take that, and I think that'll set us up really nicely for the rest of the season. And then we've got Notts at home, who will be without Jake Ball, of course, who is now with us. So there's no. He'll be motivated to perform against his old club. I think he's on the upward curve out of his little slump that he's had for the last couple of seasons. But realistically, I don't know, we've got a new captain bounce, Tom Abels. All the signs are looking good with Tom's form. Seems to be freed from the shackles of captaincy. Lewis Gregory enthused, having his first go as full-time
Usman
captain.
Khawaja will get an unbeaten double 100 at the Oval.
That'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
Hopefully he's playing for us, Steve.
Yeah.
Not been signed
Well,
by that lot.
I was hoping you were listening earlier, Shep, when I said that.
I did. I was
Just to be
listening to
clear.
that, but it's with Dean Elgar, the whole Dean Elgar business. It's just a little bit up in the air. I don't know. I think top 3 is achievable, definitely, in the championship.
Yeah.
Don't know whether we'll be good.
It's
enough to
always
win
that being contention when you start the last group of 3 games in September, isn't it? And then, who knows? And when we have been recently, we haven't done so well in those last few games, and more recently, we haven't been in contention at that point. So that's got to be the objective, really, to make sure we get to that point of the season, and then who knows from there.
Consistency. That's what we need. Consistency.
Got the words right out of my mouth there, Anthony. We've got to be consistent. I think as a batting unit, if the top 6 can be consistent, it'll make a massive, massive difference.
Absolutely.
And it's a big season for some of the players. We've had some inconsistency. We want consistency and regular, performances.
Well,
Yeah.
we've got to see some runs from Sean Dixon.
Sean Dixon, yeah.
We've got to see Tom Lammonby convert
Back to his
potential into
2020.
results. Consistently.
Tom Lammonby just looks such a good player, doesn't he? And then just gets out.
Be good to see either or both Tom Lammonby, Tom Banton and Lewis Goldsworthy in the middle order.
Yeah, obviously TKC
I'd love
being at
to see
the
Tom
IPL
Banton
for
make it.
April. Yeah, good stuff. Gives that
BKC,
slot
the
for
man
somebody.
who probably had the worst Big Bash career of any overseas player in the history of the competition, I think, led him. It was just, I felt so sorry for him. It really was. Oh. The best thing to come out of the Big Bash was Tom Curran getting sanctioned, though, wasn't it? I did enjoy that quite a lot.
I know, the best thing was the absolute goober that he dropped a couple of days afterwards. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we love our Tom, don't we? Oh, Tom, peasant boy, Curran. So what do you reckon then? 3rd, 4th, 1st, 2nd?
Second.
2nd or 6th used to be ours.
Second, if we get Khawaja first.
Top 3. Top 3.
I'd settle for staying up.
Oh, Gibbo.
Look, we really
What's the
can't
title of
afford,
this podcast, Gibbo?
I don't know.
with the whole county cricket world in flux, we cannot afford to go down to Division 2. We really can't.
and not to be negative. That's a very important point that Anthony's just made.
Yeah.
We've got to maintain top flight status. That is so important.
Yeah. can't argue with that. Would you know what the easiest way to do that is, Rich? Is to win the county championship.
Well,
There you go.
Yeah.
It would have to be a
And it
fucking
is
hell
the
of
year
a
of
points
the dragon.
deduction to relegate us then, wouldn't it? I'm sure they'd find something. They'd probably count Jamie Cox as an extra overseas player or something and fine us for that. So I don't know. Obviously, we've got to retain the blast. I think that group of players, with or without whatever overseas thing, I know Matt Henry was absolutely fantastic leading wicket taker in the competition, but I just think the experience that they got of just performing under pressure, winning games from the full spectrum of positions, chasing big totals, defending small totals, and everything in between has stood that side in good stead.
You just hit the nail on the head there, Ian. Defending small totals at times, which was just incredible to watch. You actually looked at finals day, and I think we were just a team, which some of the other sides weren't teams. You had 11 players all pulling for each other, which if you looked at some of the other counties, it didn't appear that was the same. And you just had 11 lads out on the field there saying, we're going to win this. There was always a story Keith Parsons tells from the 2005 2020 that with Graham Smith leading the side, Graham said when he went out to bat, I'm winning this for you boys today because I want to win it for you boys. And what did he do? Got 60 odd not out, I think. But of course, he only hit the winning runs.
Yeah. That's the bit that just gets replayed all the time, isn't it?
What about this? What about Will Sutherland then? What sort of part do you think he's going to play? Our new Australian all-rounder who looks remarkably to me like Craig Overton.
I've not seen much of him, to be honest. I mean, they've obviously...
He was playing in the Big Bash for... I can't remember who it was, but he's about 6'5" tall.
Renegades, I think.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
I'm assuming I know Andy and Jason have done their homework on him. He looks a good player. The only time it'll tell is when he's here, and I think he'll take part in pretty much most forms of the game. He can certainly bat, he can certainly bowl. Time will tell, won't it?
But he's rumoured to be in the conversation for the Australian T20 side.
Yeah.
He's that highly thought of. I think he's one of those people who's going to end up as a lower sort of batting about 6 and bowling a bit from what listening to the commentators on the Bash and reading about him in the Shield games. So, and worryingly, he did have a bit of an injury which kept him out of the last couple of big Bash games.
Oh
no. It's the thing that seems to blight us all the time, isn't it? Injury. We just sort of get settled, and then somebody gets injured or at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Right, guys, I'm going to have to sign off, I'm afraid.
Oh,
Time
me
has
too.
beaten me this evening.
You cooking
Got to go
tonight,
and
Steve?
rescue my supper.
Oh, very
All right.
nice too.
Good to see you all.
Yeah, good to
Yeah.
see you all.
Again soon.
We'll catch up soon. Thanks for persevering with the technical difficulties. But it has kept us down to under 50 minutes, which I think is a modern era, always look at the bright side of life record. So I'm sure the listeners will be thankful for that. Brilliant stuff. Okay, guys, thanks very much. We'll catch up with
Thank you
you
for saying
next
it.
time.